right, good evening. Anybody out there? Am I actually... All right, GW is here, so I know it's actually working. Hi, GW. How are you doing tonight? I am doing okay so far. Although I'm a little bit annoyed because I had a little bit of a time crunch. My wife said, "Oh, get me the Fuzzy's tacos." And I was like, I don't have enough time to get those and be back for the live stream, but I had some promo from Uber Eats give me 40% off, want me to do that, so I'll just get them delivered. Of course, did the promo work? No. The promo didn't work at all, and our normal order that her and my daughter likes to get that's normally $14 was $29 delivered. So that's a nice little bonus. Luckily, my sales are back to my top tier level. But before I started my YouTube channel, I was selling $300 a day every single day. And then I started putting time into YouTube, and I got my area all clogged up with too many buys, and it went way down. But I've gotten my area cleared back out again, and I've listed $4,000 in items in the last 4 days, so the sales are going now. So that extra $15 for those tacos, well worth it, as far as I'm concerned.
Because my wife helped me.
And my wife says, because my wife helped me. Yes, she does. She does help. She brings most of the time, she brings everything to the post office and UPS. She carries everything up and down the steps. And my daughter also helps with that as well. They're actually eating tacos in the background. I'm going to eat my dinner after this is all over. All right, let's see who else is here. GW's mailman dropped the mail when he told her to watch his YouTube. Let's say hi to Danielle, Harley Max, Buganeers, Cleveland Resale, and I'm a Reseller. I'm a Reseller is my newest channel member. Great to see you. Great to see you here. Yeah, eBay is picking up. GW, my sales are back to doing great, and I think part of it is just what everybody else says is a listing. Once I got things clear so I could list, what happened? My sales just started going up, and not even the old stuff. I mean, not just the new stuff either. A lot of it was the old stuff. I'm shipping $1,000 in orders tomorrow morning, and that's just a day and a half. So I am doing great on that right now. And I keep finding all this good stuff hidden in my death pile. It's incredible what I passed over or what I set on a shelf because I thought looked cool. Hey, Helo's World is here, everybody. Chris, I believe you sent me a super chat last live in which you said to go buy a 40 ounce from the gas station. They don't have any 40 ounces, but they had a 32 ounce. So I bought that. So I'm going to work on that while we're doing this chat here. All right, throw the questions out. Throw everything out there. Oh yeah, right now what I'm finding in my death pile is mostly tabletop gaming, Warhammer 40,000 related stuff that I had pushed to the side. Or I thought it looked cool, or I thought maybe I'm going to play this game someday. I've played Warhammer 40,000 all of twice in my life. Is it fine? Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. But I have like 3 other nerd hobbies that are equivalent, and do I really need to be built up to big money and all those things? I don't think so. I'm finding stuff like, oh look, here, this tank is worth $100 by itself. Or like, here's 7 little figures, and I get $50 for the 7 little figures. And that stuff's just plowing into the listings. It's really amazing. And with that stuff, since most of the stuff I have from that is old, it's 20 to 30 years old, and Warhammer was not as popular in America 20 to 30 years ago as it is now, it either sells instantly, like in the first couple of days, because somebody was waiting for that vintage piece to show up, or it doesn't sell for 3 or 6 months, has to go through a few markdowns until it catches somebody. But either way, the money is rolling in for that, which is good because kind of needed. I think the wife's visit to the hospital is going to cost us $12,000, so that's fun. Oh, and any super chats tonight are going to go towards buying my daughter a new bike. We got a little bit towards that from the last couple, and we're going to keep adding that up until she gets that new bike. All right, let's pick up the chat now. Northern Shark says, love your channel from East Coast Canada. Hope you reach 6,000 subs in September. Hey, I also hope I reach 6,000 subs in September. I have been chasing Old School Picker since I started because he was one of my inspirations. And he had about 6,000 subs when I started at the beginning of this year. He's a bit over 7 now. I'm catching him. I want to catch him. That is my number one YouTube goal, is to catch Old School Picker. And I'm getting there. Make a little bit of progress on him every single week. No insult on him. Big inspiration, but catching him would be a huge goal to me. Fast Talking Flipper, who made a video about me today. You should go see it. Well, the video wasn't really about me. He just mentioned me in the video. But, oh yeah, I can't believe how many thousands of dollars I keep managing to pull out of my death piles. It's ridiculous. I'm a Reseller. It says, any collabs coming up, and you open to collabs in the future? Everybody's wanting me to do a podcast. And what I think I'm going to do soon enough is I might just start doing the 3-legged podcast, and I'm just going to start off rotating through people to join me and just see who the viewers prefer and who I have the best action with. Because, I mean, I know who my favorites are, but I don't know if I'm actually going to respond best with them on camera and have the best banter with them. So that's what I think I'm going to do there. So, and that would be open to just about anybody. I am not coming to Cincinnati for the Reseller rally. I'm not quite ready to travel for Reseller stuff yet. That's probably going to be more of next year sort of stuff. Cleveland Resale says, what do you think the best vintage PC games are to look out for when sourcing? Vintage PC games. You want to look for big box of the shooters. You know, you want Quake, you want Quake 2. Basically, you want your first-person shooters and the really early stuff. The stuff that was DOS. You don't really want most of the late 90s stuff as much. Or when you're just talking computer in general and not PC, the Apple II stuff can be really good. I sold an untested Apple II disc a few years back for a couple $100. It was called Cranston Manor, and that wasn't even on eBay. I got a local offer on that for a couple $100. All right, what else we got here? Hey, Helo's World, thanks for $5 towards Julie's new bike. That is going to help. Carrie went to a church's rummage sale today. Saw a 3-tiered cart full of wooden stamps. Thanks to you, I avoided them. Yes, Carrie, although I did make profit in the end on those wooden stamps, I don't think it was really worth my time. I could have done better doing almost anything else. Callie Louise, hello everyone. Hello, Callie. GW says, are there any categories you'd like to try selling in if it weren't physically prohibitive? Honestly, I would, because of the money some of these sellers make, I would love to be able to actually go to the Goodwill and pick through all those shirts and pull out shirts and jerseys and pull out the good ones and make the money off that. I'd love to be able to part cars as well, because I love taking cars apart, but because of my limitations, I can't do either one of those effectively. I am eventually going to part out my old Mercedes convertible on the channel. Probably going to do that next year. Just because I already have the car, I wouldn't buy a car to part out right now. Just because that wouldn't make any sense. All right, who else we got here? Fast Talking Flipper wishes eBay would open up the adult categories again. I had not realized that they were gone. I mean, I never really bought or sold in those categories, but I just assumed that they still existed. I guess it wasn't something that I put much thought into. Something I have been thinking a lot about lately, though, is flooding a category. Is it negative for one person to flood a category? I'm not really sure it is. Like with my craft gourds, I used to just keep 10 up at once all the time. When it would get low, I'd throw a few on and keep 10 craft gourds up. But then I realized, why am I doing that? Why don't I have 30 or 40 of them up instead? That way, when somebody searches large craft gourd, instead of me being 10 results instead of me being 10 in the search results, I show up 30 times in the search results, or 40 times. And that really made me rethink things. Like, I found a whole bunch of very similar Warhammer tanks underneath my bar, and I went to list those, and despite the fact they're all really similar, I listed all of them at once. Why should I hold off? Let me show up in the search 12, 15 times. That's only going to result in more sales for me, because I'm not competing against myself. I don't need to undercut my own prices. So I see that there's nothing wrong with flooding a category as long as you're the one flooding it. On a resale, it says one of the biggest markets closes around Halloween. Otherwise, it would have to be April. Green Rock Cards and Collectibles says the image photos on IPVO document cam is not clear regardless of the settings that I can find. Okay, Green Rock, you're gonna want to open up the Windows Camera app. That has the controls for the blur focus and the darkness and lightness on the IPVO document camera. It interfaces through that, and that will get you straight with that. If that app won't do it, then you've got a bad one. Hello, Texas lady. Nice to see you. Green Rock. Okay, I just addressed that. Fast Talking Flipper says if you need help with car parting, maybe we can do something. Handle those Cobalt HR part outs. Okay, well, Fast Talking Flipper, what I've got is I've got an 84 Mercedes 380 SL convertible. That's the big, bad Mamma Jamma 2-seater V8 convertible, Mercedes' most expensive car at the time other than their limousine. And it runs, it drives, it would stop if I fixed the hole in the brakes, but it's super tired, it's not worth fixing up, but it has a straight body and a bunch of good parts and a perfectly running engine.
And a whole bunch of ants.
And my wife says, and a whole bunch of ants. Yes, because there are some ants on and around it at this point. But I know it's worth 5-10 times as much as parts as it is in a whole car. This is a whole car that's going to be $2,000 tops. But I know the engine in that car is $5,000 to $6,000, and anything you can pull out of it is money, because most of those cars are still on the road. Okay, Harley Max 01 says, I'm 52 and my beer is still Milwaukee's Best Light, better than Bud Light.
Oh, he likes Beast.
Beast is a different... Isn't Beast a different one? My wife said Beast to death. Is Milwaukee's Best Beast? I'm not really sure. I never had much of a preference myself. Cleveland Resale put $5 towards Julie's bike. Be careful on that new bike when you get on it, Julie, or don't break your other foot. Okay. Fast Talking Flipper says I may have to wait until next year there, and not sure. And Fast Talking Flipper, that car is not going anywhere. It's been sitting in my driveway for 4 years. It is not going anywhere. Nothing. It's not going to get any worse than it is now. We're going to drain the fluids and take the thing apart one way or another. Red Relics has never seen a dog sit in a chair like that. Was the dog sitting in the chair in the background?
She is right now.
Oh, she's sitting there. Oh, yeah, she loves it. She likes to pretend to be a real person. That's fun for her.
Because she wants the food.
In 21S says, eBay is penalizing me for their eBay tracking errors. Is anyone else having issues with standard envelope shipping? Ultimately, with the standard envelope shipping issues, they remove them at the end of the month when they actually do everything. I have 2 accounts, one of which is everything but cards, and the other one is all cards. The all card store is top rated. Every single problem with eBay standard envelope, they remove the defects when they actually do the report. I wouldn't worry about that at all. There are problems with the service. The problems come and go, but ultimately it is the best thing you can be doing, because if you're just doing stamp and envelope, you're only going to do worse, because none of those get uploaded as tracking, not one. And the people who like to just say, oh, free cards, they find the people who do standard envelope, who do stamp and envelope, and they order from them to get free cards. Kevin Lewis said, took your video advice on records and applying to a large amount of vintage comic books. Have about 50 to post this weekend with video. I've also been posting a lot of those Warhammer miniatures with videos now, too. Because I've got my document camera set up, pointed at a white Lazy Susan, sitting on a white background, so I put the miniatures on there, take my pictures, turn the turntable, then I set the document camera to video mode, then I just do a smooth 360 and add that video to the listing. And I think it does pretty good. I'm a reseller, doesn't do car parts, doesn't have the space. Fast Talking Flipper, we have talked about my Mercedes obsession. You see, when I was in high school, I had a few dream cars. One of which was the 1970s, 1980s Mercedes 380 SL convertible. That was their V8. That was basically, other than a Ferrari, that was the biggest deal car you could have. And actually, I think it priced out at around the level of the lower level Ferraris anyway. And I bought myself one when in my late 20s, when I could finally afford one. And I daily drove that sucker for 10 years, and it's still rotting in my driveway right now. And then, of course, I also currently own what I actually drove when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, I had a 1986 Dodge/Mitsubishi mini truck that I lowered and did dumb stuff to. And I bought myself another 1986 Dodge/Mitsubishi mini truck recently, and that took a long time to find, let me tell you. Because Mitsubishi, not going to say anything bad about them today, were not known for quality 35 years ago. But I got myself another one. It's parked in my back carport, not running right, leaking gas all over the place, but it is in beautiful condition, and it's lowered and it has a convertible top. So, just letting my dream just kind of sit back there. I'll fix it right eventually. Okay, Red Relic said, I've had some issues with item going to the wrong part of the country, but eventually gets delivered. And my dog is a cutie's pup. Retro Ranger. Good day, Paige and chat from Western Australia. Keep bringing your honest content. It's few and far between with YouTube resellers these days. Well, thank you. I try to be honest. I try, because if you're not honest, you step around issues and you can end up giving people bad advice because you don't want to disagree with them. And I'm okay disagreeing with everybody. I'm okay disagreeing with my best friends. It's okay. You don't have to agree with everybody else. I can say that coupons on eBay are terrible, and Red Relics can say they're the best thing in the world. And that's okay. We can still be friends. It doesn't matter. GW has an S430 in my driveway. Yeah, way newer than what I've got. The 380 SL is like old school Mercedes. Metal bumper, mechanical fuel injection that most mechanics won't touch. Just all that German engineering where everything cost $800. And Red Relics has 2 Mustangs. Hey, Chad Doherty is in the house. Meta Bubbles. Chad did indeed help cut the roof off the top of the Dodge D50 to make that truck into a convertible, because we got a new old stock convertible top kit. For some reason they were still available for that truck. I guess they didn't sell out back in the old days. Oh my goodness. I am about to have to take a pee break. Hey, can you come talk to the camera? My wife is not going to talk to the camera, so Julie is going to come. Julie, why don't you just come tell everybody what you've been doing this week? Just come talk for a minute. Oh, Red Relics, I love Datsuns, but they're very impossible to find with automatic trans. Okay, I have to pee, and Julie's going to come talk to y'all.
About what? I don't know what to say.
Just say you've had a good week. Say thank you for the bike money. Just walk up and say hi, everybody. Thank you for the haircut,
Thank you for the bike money and the haircut. I have nothing else to say. Sorry. Thank you for the bike money and my hair and for my haircut. I admire it a lot. Thank you.
It's okay. Julie, just go back for a minute. Just say, Daddy's almost done. He'll be right back.
My father's almost done. He'll come back in a minute.
All right, Julie, thank you so much. All right, thank you so much, Julie, for taking over the chat for a minute there. Any super chats are going to give Julie a new bike. A new bike or possibly a new scooter, because she might want a grown-up scooter instead of a bike. Cleveland Resale was asking what kind of bike you want, but Julie has done run off. Now we have scared her off. Amarisa says, what's the plan for this weekend? I probably don't have one. Weekends are not a big deal to me. One of the problems about having only one leg is a lot of stuff that people would do on the weekends, not so fun. Not so fun for me at all. I can't go out and walk around and stuff. I am going to try to hit a street concert with one of my friends, not this weekend, but the next weekend. But usually I just kind of stay home on the weekends. Julie, everybody says hello, and they all love your tiger shirt, and they want to know your favorite color.
Purple.
Okay, she said her favorite color is purple. GW, Ben's watching the good shows lately. Apparently there was a new season of Rick and Morty, or at least new to me, that I didn't know about or wasn't on Hulu. I just watched through all of that, and I also caught myself up on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is the longest running sitcom in history now, and the longest running Three Stooges show. Because I don't know if you realize this, but the Three Stooges dynamic, and sometimes it's Three Stooges plus girl, is one of TV's most popular dynamic. It is the Three Stooges. It is Seinfeld. It's Trailer Park Boys. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Workaholics. You could possibly even transfer that onto classic Star Trek. It's amazing how many shows have 3 male protagonists who never seem to learn anything and who have no permanent female relationships, and sometimes there's a girl. Oh, Oh, Chad is out drafting the new Magic set. See, he's still doing that. I don't enjoy going out to the game store as much as Chad does anymore. It's ever since I lost my hearing in one ear, I have a hard time I have a hard time filtering sounds and noisy environments. Is not as fun for me. Northern Shark gave us a lot of purple, and Christian, well, I'm glad it's your first time that you made the live. All right. Everybody, why don't you tell me what your best sale of the week has been so far? Well, I check and see what my best sale of the week has been so far. My best sale of the week so far is it's a single wargaming model for the wargame of Dust 1947. It is a little Star Wars looking walker thing, and I listed that 2 days ago when I sold it for $180. And I have one more of them, but it doesn't look as cool, so that might, or maybe it's not as good in the game. I don't know. Maybe the cooler looking ones are better in the game. Really not sure, but either way, that was my sale of the week. What do you all got? Northern Shark. When you live close to trailer park where they filmed in Nova Scotia, did you run into anybody? Just wondering. I heard that they like to stay in character when they meet fans. Rad Relic says, I love to play Magic the Gathering. No one around here plays. I find that a little weird because it's actually an extremely popular hobby. You might not have a store, but it seems like there'd be somebody around who plays. Around here, there's so many people that play. It's crazy. You can come up with a play group really easily. Daniel sold a used tire for $135. What was that a tire to? Just kind of wondering. Non-working Aces flip. Kevin Lewis, $228. I'm a resell it. Winning so far. Can a printer, $535. See, if you're finding those good printers, you're a pro. Christian sold a Star Wars toy for $24 plus ship. Cleveland sold a Cleveland Browns dog pound hat for $69. Not a bad price. CM Retro Gaming found a CDI controller at a garage sale. Sold it $70 plus parts only. CM Retro, is the 3DO stuff as valuable as the CDI stuff? I'm just wondering if I just threw away thousands of dollars when I don't even know what happened to my 3DO collection. No idea where it went. Just wondering how much money I threw away at that point. Cassie sold 2 Pepe Le Pew mugs for $45. And Northern Shark says Bubbles is actually a great musician and really smart off the show. I kind of always got that idea from him, especially since he was, a technician and the sound man and everything else. And plus, the show makes him out to be smart, too, as well. They always say, he was the smartest guy in the park. Kevin Lewis, put your question in, man. Okay, Rad Relic sold a vintage Mad Men Months black and white console TV set for $360, but they haven't come to get it yet. Oh, I love finding old TVs. I recently sold a new in-box TV DVD combo from 20 plus years ago for several $100s. I've got a portable 5-inch new in-box TV from the 80s still in my store right now. I've got quite a little collection of smaller CRTs downstairs. One point I had 100 plus CRTs in this house, but that was before I was doing eBay. Sunny Las Vegas here. Nice to see you, Sunny. So the rubber ducky nurse for $5.40. Favorite flip of the week? Nice. And Holly Bell sold a vintage Christmas tree skirt for $23.99. All right, CM Retro Gaming, yes, you have made me feel that, yes, that my 3DO, that I have no idea where I went with its controllers and my mint condition copy of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, that just vanished somewhere in a move. I feel like I've really lost something. I bet CM Retro Gaming has a copy of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, don't you? Buccaneers sold an autographed Death Pile Monster for $219. Whose name did you sign on it? Mine, yours, or somebody else's? Doge AMC Warrior says, mark my words, 15 to 30 years, DVDs and a good DVD player will make a comeback. Storage space will be an issue. I'm at a maybe on that. It depends on what happens with streaming. And I also feel like if it does, it will be connected to CRT TVs, because DVDs are at a lower image quality than current TV sets are at. While Blu-ray's right there, but the DVDs are definitely lower quality. DVDs look incredible on CRT TVs, but CRT TVs are, weird tech at this point. Millennials don't even know what they are. And they also think that they're too heavy to pick up for some reason. My only thought as to why they might not end up making a comeback later is because they're just too common. Other formats like the VHS you see picking up value and everything else are mostly movies that came out before people bought movies at home. There's stuff that came out in the 80s, back when home movies were too expensive. Once you go into the 90s and 2000s, when people were buying movies for home use, they were much cheaper. The production runs of those movies went way, way up. And there's just so much supply of that stuff. But I could be wrong. Maybe someday Quigley Down Under will sell for more than $3.99. Because, Tom Selleck and his mustache starred in that movie. Masters Maniac Mexico got his first sale of the week after shifting his whole shop. Hey, Masters Maniac, yeah, I may know him as a channel member of J Ride Flips. Hey, could become a channel member here too. I pretty much do whatever my channel members want. If you're a channel member and you tell me to do something, I'm probably just going to do it. I've only got about 10 of them, so it's not like you're fighting with 200 people for my attention. You're a channel member and you say, hey Paige, I want you to make a video on this? I'll probably do it. Say, you want me to talk about this? Yeah, I'll probably do it. He also says, thank you for a ton of good advice and being so simpatico, funny, even humorless. Yes, I'm quite sarcastic. Kevin says, yesterday we had our highest sale day, over 500. Sold at least one item every day for a while. Today, no sales. No, Kevin, eBay is not punishing you. This is just the randomness of life coming together. I have actually never had a no sale day since I went full time, but I also have, in addition to my normal store, I also have a card store with 10,000 cards in it. So a no sale day is just not happening. But I had an $11 sales day recently, and I had a $17 sales day recently. I think yesterday was $500. But yes, all those things can just converge together outside of your control. Let's see. CM Retro Gaming says, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is the IT title. You know how long I spent trying, because I had that pre-internet, or at least pre-me having the internet. You know how long I tried just doing random things on the controllers to figure out how to turn off the censoring on that game, and I never did. And I wasn't even a kid. I was 19 years old. I wasn't even a child doing that. Wasted way too much time on that. Okay, we're catch up here. Yeah, Northern Shark, I am doing a little bit more of a relaxed podcast live this time. I figured since somebody threw me beer money last week that I was just going to spend it and just hang out and not try to have a real focused topic or anything else. My wife's mad about that, though. Okay. Car Domain says, what are your thoughts on buying lots off eBay and then turn around and sell? Hey, yeah, there's no problem with that. If you can find lots on eBay to break and sell, do it. Make the money. I used to have a little thing where when I was a card specialist, every time I sold a valuable Pokemon card, I would go and look through Pokemon lots and try to find a lot with the same card in it that I could buy for less money than I just sold the card for. And most of the time I was successful doing it. Okay. Kevin Lewis said, did you see my question? Kevin, if I didn't answer it, just go ahead and please repeat it. Cleveland Resale said, are you a fan of the band Primus? Kind of seems your style. I don't know a lot about Primus. I was the right age. I just remember that My Name is Mud thing. Otherwise, no, I never followed the band or was into them. I was more of a Depeche Mode, then went into Nine Inch Nails sort of thing. And now I'm more into 80s rock because the 90s stuff seemed to be all about being angry and hating your parents, but I'm 46 years old now. I don't want to be mad anymore, and I don't want to be mad at my parents, so I'm more into the 80s stuff now, which is more just songs of victory and being awesome. Hey, Masters Maniac Mexico, thank you for joining the channel. That is awesome. Glad to have you here. Fast One Flipper says Les Claypool is a god. He's both the singer and the bass player, if I'm right. I feel like I could be very wrong there. Christian finally sold one item a week, currently on 2 a week streak. Hey, whatever it takes to get you started, man, just do it. Masters Maniac heard music for the masses yesterday. Yes. I love early Depeche Mode. I like to almost kind of listen to Depeche Mode in order. It starts out so simple, and then it just gets layered and layered and layered. And Nine Inch Nails does the same thing. Trent Reznor starts out Pretty Hate Machine being like the angry version of early Depeche Mode. Then it just gets more layered and layered and layered. And apparently he's not pursuing as much music anymore because he says he's happy now. He doesn't want to be angry anymore. Just like I said about 90s music. JMC says, I'll stop buying every DVD I see for 25 cents. I recently sold almost all my DVDs for 25 cents each to one of my friends. And Red Relic likes 90s trip hop, like Speaker Pimps. And hello, Cyclones Scrapper. Nice to see you here. Alright, let's see what else I have been selling. After a year in my store, I just sold a Lisa and Cult Jam with Full Force. 2 records, $26.99. I had them in my store for a year, but they eventually paid off. Alright guys, well the chat seems to be slowing down here, so unless you guys want to toss some more questions out here, I'm going to maybe find something to talk about for a few minutes, and then I guess just, if I don't get a lot more questions in the chat, I think I'm just going to cut it off. I got to see J-Ride Flips. Oh, Helios World says, all cried out. Oh, that... Are you talking about the bands from the 90s, or are you talking about James? Not that I watch James, but everybody always thinks I'm talking about James. And I'm never talking about James because I only watched about 45 minutes worth of James to a half hour until I realized that, oh my goodness, James is the person I seem to be talking about in all my videos, and I cannot watch this guy because, no offense to that guy, because I met him once, perfectly lovely guy, but the last thing I want to do is be influenced by somebody that I already seem to be talking about. Alright, Fast Talking Flipper said, Angie wanted to know where you source. Okay. The majority of my sourcing by dollar amount comes from private buys. I let people know that I sell things, and specifically that I'm into, I let people know that I buy things in general, but specifically that I am definitely into tabletop gaming, and by dollar amount, that's where the most of the money comes from. Otherwise, I go to garage sales and Goodwill bins like everybody else. Kevin Lewis says, how many buyers do you block on average every week? And what do you do when big ticket heavy items ship to Puerto Rico? I don't ship big heavy items to Puerto Rico. For one thing, all my shipping is calculated, so people in Puerto Rico don't buy my items, for the most part. I block somebody about every 2 days. My block list is insanely large. Hey, Wicked Gig Flips, nice to see you. Hey, Sonny, go ahead, take it easy, man. Chad Doherty says, if you're going to a gaming auction, what strategies would you use? I've gone to gaming auctions. It really all depends on whether or not there is another eBay reseller there who has already researched every single lot in advance and decided on their price. If that person is there, I'm really only going to be interested in the things that they're not interested in, which is often the case at our local gaming auction. Otherwise, many times, live gaming auctions that I found are basically just literally you can buy everything, and it's always a good price. Okay, Cyclone Scrapper says country music all the way. Janice went to the Goodwill outlet down the street for the first time. Had to drive for about an hour and found a Vice Wave radio. What was it? Vice or Bose? And Christian Orobio said he took my advice for buying backups for important thing, and boy, it's just a big relief knowing I'm ready. Yeah, I keep backups for everything. I keep an extra car, which is helping me right now, because actually my new Jeep either needs a replacement battery and an alternator, but I haven't actually sold my old van yet, so I just got out in the van and I used that today, and then I'll figure out what's wrong with the Jeep tomorrow. Fast Talking Flipper, when I says you let people know, I talk about how I sell things on Facebook. I think the fact that I'm disabled might help in this, because people remember me. Paige sells things on eBay because, he lost his leg. That might help me a little bit as far as that sort of thing goes. But, yeah, just a lot of contacts in real life. No, Fast Talking Flicker, I do not mail them a letter, but I will post on Facebook and in certain groups and say that, letting people know, especially in local groups, that, hey, I buy stuff. Masters Maniac Mexico, I do not know Das Schwartz. Oh, the Black Eye, I do not know that one unless it has an American name. CM Retro blocked someone last week for non-payment. Accepted an offer and never paid. Sometimes I don't block those people. The non-payments don't bother me at all. I just relist the item. I just don't care. Chad Doherty says, if you've got a decent gaming computer, well, Chad, I'm going to take that as an insult right off the bat that you think I don't have a decent gaming computer right now. I thought I had a decent gaming computer. What computer game would you get? That's a great question, Chad, because I don't know. The fact is that the setup I have now still supports everything new coming out, and I just don't want to learn the new games anymore. I just wish somehow, they'd come out with a huge expansion to a game that I already love that didn't change anything. Like if they just, came out with a new version of Borderlands 1 that was 10 times as big, that would be awesome. Or more tracks for Wreckfest or other things. I do not chase the brand new PC games the way I used to 20 years ago. No, not World of Warcraft. Cyclone Scrapper said, did I sell the Globe yet? No, but I'm getting a surprising number of watchers and views on it, which I thought which is way more than I thought it would be. All right, guys, 2-minute break. Just fill up the chat because that beer that Hilo bought me is getting to me again. Chad's in my chat. No, I just said fill up the chat. I'll be back. All right, now I know next time somebody super chats me a giant gas station beer, I'm not going to try to drink it on screen because that just ends up with me going to the bathroom. Okay. Victor says, how much do you tell people you pay for inventory? Everything is a per thing. I don't pay based on a percentage or anything else. I pay based on a feel. A whole bunch of items that I can sell for $5 are nearly worthless to me, and that's what I'm going to pay for a whole bunch of items that sell for $5 each. But a whole bunch of things that sell for $300 each could be worth $150 each to me. That all depends on just what the items are. Chad Doherty. Oh, Chad just got a decent gaming computer. What old game would you play? Chad, if you're wanting to play something online with me, the game that I'm most likely to want to play is Wreckfest. It's actually a demolition racing auto game. I just find that's really relaxing because you don't have to win. It's okay. There's 24 guys racing. If you don't win, it's fine. You crashed into a bunch of cars. You had a good time. Yeah, CM Retro Gaming says, for sure, games nowadays have like 2-hour tutorials. Yeah, it has 2-hour tutorial, and then the other thing is that when you go to play online, 90% of the guys playing, that game is their whole life. They play that game 50 hours a week. I don't play that game 50 hours a week. It's not fun for me to try that. And Christian says, damn, Borderlands 1 is a classic. Me and my friend used to go straight to my house. Yeah, you played it on console. So much better on PC. I am more likely to play Borderlands 1 than I am 2 or 3 or the One-Eyed Jack thing or the Tiny Tina thing. I have all of those. But I'm more likely to just play through 1 again. I have this thing of keeping going back to the same video games over and over for my whole life. Like, I've gotten ridiculously good at, like, all the games of my childhood. I can beat Contra without the Konami code now. Going through Final Fantasy my first time was a multiple-month adventure, and now it's a 3-hour slog. Christian, no, not one drug flipper. Nowhere near. That I would never show on stream. But it seems like my body is like, oh, You have some beer. It must be time for you to pee a whole lot. Masters Maniac says, did get a PS5 for last Christmas, but sold it and bought a Switch. Couldn't keep up with the new games. It frustrated me. The Switch is simple and easy. Yeah, I don't have a Switch, but I do. I do have this right here. This is a Steam Deck. This is like the PC version of a Switch. This actually plays PC games. And from what I understand, these can actually be set up to emulate a Switch, but I'm not interested in doing that sort of thing. So that's what I've got. But I don't play it nearly enough. Masters Maniac has a coin arcade here with some classic on it like Street Fighter. That does it for me. Which is your favorite Street Fighter, Masters Maniac? Is it Street Fighter 2, the World Warrior? That would be mine. That's generally the one fighting game that everybody knows how to play. I've owned several of the machines over the years. And I've also owned other arcade fighting games, but if it's not Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, nobody knows how to play it. So it's never any fun to play against them. Janice's husband is also into playing D&D and Magic and 40K. And Helo's World wants to eventually go back to Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII wrecked itself for me because I had it on PC and my game consistently crashed and could not recover at the end of Disc 1. And I could not advance from that, and then I never went back to the series. Alright guys, thanks everybody. I think this has been a great stream. I think I'm going to cut it off now. Thanks for the super chats towards Julie's bike. Looks like she's got $10 more going towards her bike. Hopefully we get that before Christmas or before spring. That would be awesome. Thanks everybody for coming out, and I hope to see you all again soon.